This is going to be taking what we've already done, which we're going to review in just a second, and kind of going back the other direction. So first, let's refresh our memory from learning target 27, where we took a factored form of an equation and changed it into standard form. Now, if you recall, when we do this, we have that our first step is going to be to FOIL. And so remember, we want to deal with our first, which would be x times x, which is x squared. And then our outer term, which is x times 8, which is plus 8x, times our inner, which is negative 3 times x, or minus 3x. And negative 3 times 8, our last term, which is minus 24. And then, if you recall, then we combine our like terms. So we see that we have a positive 8x and a negative 3x to get a final answer of x squared plus 5x minus 24. So now we're going to take that and go the other direction. So our first example that we have is y equals x squared plus 9x plus 14. So our first part, what we're going to do is we're going to set up a t-chart. And we need to multiply to c and add to b. And what we mean by that is, if you recall, our basic form of standard form is a times x squared plus b times x plus c. So we're talking about multiplying to c, our constant term, and adding to b, our middle term. So if we set that up, our t-chart, in our case here, we want it to multiply to 14, and we want it to add to 9. So what we're going to do now is we're going to simply use guess and check, my favorite method of working through things, to figure out what this is. So the first one I usually think of is 2 times 7. So 2 times 7 does equal 14. If I'd say 2 plus 7, I get that does equal 9. So then once you get to your numbers, in our case, our 2 and 7, we're going to set up our parentheses for our factored form. So we have y equals x plus 2 times x plus 7. Now, one thing that I do want you to add in there is I actually want you to add in a step 4, and I want you to put in to check. The beauty of this is that we can go back the other direction by foiling it back out to make sure that it works. So if I FOIL this, x times x is x squared, x times 7 is 7x, 2 times x is 2x, and 2 times 7 is 14. I look here, 7x plus 2x gives me x squared plus 9x plus 14, which is what we had over here to begin with, so we do check. So our final answer that we want is the y equals the quantity x plus 2 times the quantity x plus 7. Let's take a look at another example very similar to that. We have y equals x squared plus 19x plus 18. So we're going to set up our t-chart, and here we want it to multiply to 18. We want it to add to 19. Now, the first one that I usually think about is 9 times 2. But if I take 9 plus 2, I do not get 19. So I know that doesn't work. So let's try another one. My next one I usually think about is 6 times 3. But if I take 6 plus 3, I, once again, do not get 19. So we got to think, what else do we have for an option? The one that most of you tend to overlook is 1 times itself. If I take 1 times 18, I get 18. And if I take 1 plus 18, I do get 19. So that means that my equation is going to be y equals x plus 1 times x plus 18. Now, I want to go ahead and check this. So I'm going to FOIL it out. X times x is x squared. X times 18 is 18x. 1 times x is x. And 1 times 18 is 18. And when I combine my like terms, I get x squared plus 19x plus 18, which, if I check, is exactly what we had to start with. So I know it's correct. And I can go ahead and circle. Remember, this that I'm circling is what we want our actual answer to be.